Our first speaker from Singapore is Mr. Oliver Tian, who is a seasoned speaker at numerous international conferences, a champion of leveraging technologies to augment human capability and potential. He holds numerous titles, including the honorary advisor mentor to Agora, the immediate past president to Singapore Industrial Automation Association, founder and director of Oliver Tian Associates, vice chair of International Alliance of Robotics Associations, vice president of Global Robots Clusters, expert advisor of AI for Good in Asia, advisory board member of Responsible Tech Institute at University of Oxford, and ex-board member of Alumni Advisory Board to President of the National University of Singapore.
It is a pleasure actually to be part of this webinar. Really excited that I'm able to share this time with two of the very distinguished professors from Finland and from Hong Kong. In fact, as you listen to their resume, it's certainly extremely impressive, and I believe the audience will be able to enjoy great insights from the discussion today. Of course, also with me is my colleague, Ms. El Kwan from Agora, and I believe that we will have a chance to fully discuss this whole topic on fun in learning. I personally had a passion in learning. All right, as we all know, learning has gone through a very traditional, conventional way of piping in young ones at one end, and then they go through a similar process. And at the end of the tunnel, when they are in grade 12, we grade them A, B, C, D, and hopefully they are able to become ready for the industry. However, having said that, we all know the industry today is evolving so fast that technology is bringing on board new innovations, and we really have to catch up. The topic fun in learning is actually very timely. It's so timely that sometimes we wonder, how can you actually generate more fun so that you can be interested in learning? I take this quote from Magnus Carlsen: when you have fun, then you'll be more interested in learning. And I like that quote because learning has to be fun. Now, fun is not just playing, right? I believe fun has got three very important connotations. It must be flexible. Flexible because we have to know what we want to learn and what we're interested to learn so that we can continue to expand on it. Learning also has to be unlimited. We should not be curtailed by what the teacher tells us to learn or what is in the textbook. We should have unlimited access to information that we want to learn. And learning should never end. Learning is a never-ending exercise that we will go through, and whether you're young or whether you're old, we will continue to learn. So there you have it, my friends, my audience. Learning is fun. The fun in learning, flexible, unlimited, and never-ending. Now, question is, how do you make learning fun for everyone, right? The fun of learning is really the feeling of satisfaction, even pleasure, as we derive knowing and understanding different concepts. Knowledge that is orderly and logical generally appeals to the human mind. And more importantly, right, the fun in learning can stimulate greater acquisition and absorption of learning contents. Well, in Agora, assistive robotics is a term that we put in place because we believe that technology can be leveraged to augment human capability and potential, especially in learning. We believe in a simple term, 0 to 1 and 1 plus. When we are not fully equipped with the right knowledge, it's 0 to 1. How can technology be fun for us to learn so that we can arrive at the one point? And you know enough about technology, you know enough about your learning, then let's not stop there. Let's go for the 1+. I hope we don't end up seeing ourselves in this particular shape, right? Everybody is now brain connected to a central content and we're pushed to learn standard material. I don't see any fun in this learning. I find that this doesn't help us to be innovative, be creative, and to develop new skills that we hope to see in the future that we're living in. I like this diagram that I found from an article. It's the butterfly of fun. And in this butterfly of fun, I believe we can create optimal fun in such a way that we can develop our skills and align challenges such that we are able to learn and enjoy what we're learning. Individually, such fun must be able to support and help us to focus independently, and more importantly, to look at things that we want to resolve. Fun must also be collaborative. We want to work as a team. We want to talk to people. We want to share experience. We want to be able to learn from each other. That kind of fun working between human beings is going to be very powerful. And finally, fun must be emancipatory. Emancipatory in the sense that we have to reflect, think about what we have just learned, build it into our experience, and help ourselves to transform and look at new things, to improve upon ourselves and improve upon the world. The 4 aspects of fun: optimal, individual, collaborative, and finally emancipatory, will add on to how we can enjoy our learning process. Now, we all learn because we want to do something. And that's very important, because you want to do something, that's why you learn. You want to solve a problem at work, or perhaps you want to satisfy a curiosity. Ultimately, we want to achieve a goal. And that's why we all want to learn. Well, we were told what to learn because sometimes in the past, we have no idea, especially in the early stages of our life, what knowledge acquisition is about. We are waiting to identify what our aspirations are, and hence we're told to learn. But if you look at the left side of the slide I'm showing, there is ultimately a goal we want to achieve. So today, there are really 2 types of learning: just-in-time learning and just-in-case learning. In the past, in a conventional way, we learn just in case we need that knowledge, just in case we need to know how to do certain things. Learning is just in case. Some kids, some learners may just say, I don't understand, I don't know why we have to learn that knowledge, because we're told to learn. Perhaps maybe just for an examination purpose. But in the modern world, as we move forward, it is so important that we want to learn just in time. When we have a problem to solve, when we are moving into a new role, when we are exercising ourselves in a new domain, we want to acquire immediate knowledge that we can help ourselves to become better. In such a situation, there is the whole concept around unsupervised learning. Now, what does that mean? And more importantly, if you learn just in time, it is not probably going to follow a standard curriculum. Now, why is this the case? Clearly, technology is a big contributor to this change. Because from the days whereby we write written messages, complete sentences, full paragraphs, fully explaining what's happening, to the days where I start to use pages, cell phones, and now we have got blogs and Twitter messages, we find ourselves reducing the attention span, the space that we want to communicate our message, and we need to do it very fast. So technology is paving the way for alternative education pathways. So the difference between just-in-time and just-in-case learning, and I won't go through the details here, you can look at the slides. What is probably more important is just-in-time learning emphasizes on incremental learning. You learn what you need to add on to what you're learning. You need to adapt, and you need to grow with the knowledge that you acquire. Whereas just in case tend to have a fixed curriculum, everything assumed that it's all in place, and you just follow the curriculum without any further interpretations. That brings us to a point whereby in order to learn just in time, we need to acquire the skill of learning agility, ability to seek knowledge, seek content from wherever the internet brings us to, make sense of it, being able to internalize the information and use it accordingly, and finally put it into application. So there's a whole model around how learning agility needs to look for, right? There is the aspects of mental self, ability to adopt changes, be results oriented, and being able to be a lot more self-aware. Learning agility also involves a large extent how all these factors can come together and support you to be able to pick up knowledge and modelize how this can be applicable to your current needs. Based on some studies that we are seeing, there are measures on how we are able to measure learning agility. Here are some stats from Tom Ferry that shows that at this point in time, leadership are able to be more agile in learning because they deal with a lot of unknowns, a lot of agility, and more importantly, the dynamics in the business require them to have the agility to learn very differently and very quickly. The rise of intelligent context, in some way, the explosion of data and customer expectations in business are pushing us towards the need to look at learning in times of needs, learning in the flow of work. At the same time, we are also seeing that the age of experience, right? Every customer today has certain expectation, whether it's from the content or frequency, to expect that we are able to adapt to their needs. And finally, the aspect of social accountability is just so important that we must understand, appreciate the different evolutions of our customers. So if we're in business, whether you are in the private sector or in the public sector, it's just so important that we're able to adapt and deliver to our customers accordingly. Emerging technologies can make it fun for us to learn. Emerging technologies can help our learners explore their potential, whether you are a younger age learner or you are a working professional. Technologies today are evolving to support the learning process. And my two learned colleagues will share with you a lot more some of the examples of technology that can achieve this. Just to highlight some, we looked at the metaverse as a technology that's really pushing the limits and telling us what we can do very different. Robotics, both hard and soft robots, are there to support us and be a companion to what we can do. Recently, I came across a product called Story Buddy. And in Story Buddy, you are able to jointly create a story together with an AI technique. AI, there you go, another whole branch of computers, science, and technology that's able to support our natural intelligence to do a lot more. And of course, the cloud technology, which is there to ensure that we have sufficient storage to perform our task. I must say that the technology disruption is definitely a catalyst that is creating alternative education pathways, from a classroom model to an individual potential development model, from fixed curriculum and textbook to curiosity-driven, self-motivated learning, from instructor-led to learner-led, and so on and so forth. In other words, we're now able to create stackable learning credentials. Stackable learning credentials that allow us to build and learn different modules of content that we can stack and add on top of what I've learned previously and become a lot more better. The shift between just-in-case learning towards different alternative pathways to just-in-time learning is definitely happening today. I refer to this particular book that was written and released recently, How to Learn. God, we talk about just-in-time learning, then it is also important for us to know how to learn. And to look at how to learn, there are different aspects of it. And here I suggest the 6 E's on how to learn. First of all, it is important we know how to explore the content on the vast internet of knowledge that we have out there. Where to find the information is going to be key. Secondly, we need to know how to evaluate. We must exercise caution and be able to curate the content, ensure that the content is reliable and validable for us to consume. Ask questions. It's generally a belief that when you ask questions, you clarify, you understand better. You must be able to explain what you have learned. Execute it, apply that knowledge. Make sure that the knowledge actually is applicable in the work we do. The 5th E refers to extrapolation. How do you cross-pollinate? How do you look at the application of knowledge in one field and if it can be applied into another field? And then finally, if you are a strong learner, evolve the knowledge. Use the knowledge and build upon the knowledge to discover more content. So what we are seeing eventually is what I call the connected worker. The worker in the coming times, in the future of work, will have access to a vast repository of knowledge, a connection to human experts who can provide advice, and more importantly, have access to a set of devices. And then they probably need to be device agnostic to be able to use different devices to do the job properly. And in order to do so with the device evolving and innovating over time, with knowledge evolving and being added on all the time, and human experts expanding into the network, the worker must be a learn just in time. Just in case learning and just in time learning, which would you choose? I vote for just in time learning. So with that message, let me thank you for all your time. I'm happy to read any questions that you have in the chat, and I'm happy to respond to you accordingly. If I'm not able to do so, I'm sure Ms. El Kwan will pick it up and we can discuss it in the panel. I leave you with my email and our website. So stay healthy, keep safe. Thank you very much for your time. And with that, let me pass the floor over to Professor Vesa, a good friend of mine from Finland, who will share with you some practical examples of what Europe is doing, in particular, what Finland is going after, and the Finnish model of education is definitely worth for us to explore. Thank you again.